You didn't click this video by accident. It called you here. Something inside you wanted answers. And that's exactly what we give here. If you're ready to understand the darkness within and rise above it, subscribe, because this is where your awakening begins. You didn't find this video. Something within you summoned it. What we call coincidence is often the language of the mind. Subtle, quiet, and deliberate. Every click, every word, every image you see is filtered through what your unconscious wants you to experience. And right now, it wanted this. Think about it. Out of millions of things you could have watched, you stopped here. Why? Because this moment resonates with something deep inside you. Something unspoken. Something that's been waiting for a reflection. The truth is, what we seek outside is often a mirror of what's already unfolding within. The algorithm didn't lead you here. Your emotions did. There's a psychological force behind every accident. When the conscious mind grows tired, the unconscious begins to guide. It leads you toward symbols, toward words, toward meanings that echo your inner state. And sometimes, it leads you to a message you didn't even know you needed. You call it luck, timing, maybe even fate, but your psyche calls it recognition. The human mind is wired to notice what matches its current vibration. When you're broken, you attract reminders of healing. When you're lost, you stumble upon guidance. When you're ready to wake up, something in reality whispers, now. You didn't find this message, you aligned with it. This is the law of psychological resonance. It's when your internal world quietly shapes your external one. Your thoughts don't just live in your head, they reach out, pulling in symbols, signs, and messages that match their frequency. You think you're scrolling, but in truth, you're searching for yourself. Every video, every word, every moment of silence online is part of a larger pattern. The mind's way of bringing the unseen to light. You've been trying to silence your thoughts, but they keep echoing back through what you see. You've tried to escape the noise inside by drowning in endless distractions, but even the chaos finds a way to speak to you. And when the noise fades, the message appears, disguised as a random video, a late-night thought, a stranger's voice that sounds oddly familiar. Your unconscious doesn't speak in language. It speaks in moments, in timing. It draws you toward things that vibrate with your pain, your longing, your hidden truth. And right now, this message is its way of saying, I'm still here. Listen. We live in a world obsessed with control, with logic, with explanation. But there are moments that defy reason. Moments that feel too precise, too intimate to be random. That's the point where psychology meets mystery, when your own mind becomes the architect of your destiny, arranging coincidences like a silent orchestra. So, ask yourself, what part of you wanted to hear this today? What is it that this message stirred awake? Maybe it's the part that's been pretending to be fine. Maybe it's the one that's tired of running from the same reflection. Or maybe it's the quiet truth you've been ignoring, the one that whispers you've always known. You didn't find this video, it found you because you were ready to hear it, because a part of you has outgrown silence, because no matter how far you run from yourself, the mind always finds a way to return home. And now, it just did. Nothing is random. You were meant to hear this. You think you're watching a video, but in truth, the video is watching you. It's reading the silence you never speak of. It's tracing the shape of your wounds. Because what drew you here wasn't curiosity, it was your shadow. The part of you you've tried to bury, to silence, to forget. It doesn't die, it waits. And when the time comes, it whispers, quietly, powerfully, through the things you think you just stumbled upon. The shadow never screams. It doesn't chase. It waits until you're tired enough to listen. Every sleepless night, every thought you try to drown out, that's it, reaching out. You can numb it, distract it, run from it, but you can't escape it, because it's not separate from you. Itis you, the rejected you, the unwanted you, the version that remembers everything you pretend to have forgotten. And now, it's speaking, through this moment, through these words, through the strange feeling in your chest that tells you this means something. The human mind hides what it fears, but the unconscious has no patience for denial. It brings everything back, disguised as coincidence, as repetition, as fate. You keep meeting the same kind of pain, the same kind of people, the same kind of endings. It's not the world doing it to you. It's your shadow, trying to show you what you still refuse to see. Every human carries a darkness. Some face it, most bury it. But what you bury doesn't die. It grows in silence, feeding on your avoidance. It becomes the voice behind your self-sabotage, the weight behind your anxiety, the whisper that says, "You're not enough." And the more you run from it, the louder it gets. That's why you're here. You didn't want another distraction. Your shadow wanted reflection. When you face your shadow, you meet truth. Not the polished, controlled social truth, but the raw one. The one that burns, the one that humbles, the one that finally sets you free. Because only when you stop pretending to be light can you understand how powerful your darkness is. It's not evil, it's not wrong, it's simply the part of you that holds what was too heavy to carry in daylight. The shadow is memory. It's every emotion you swallowed, every word you couldn't say, every dream you killed to fit in. It's all still alive somewhere inside you, shaping how you see, how you love, how you lose. And when it becomes unbearable, it calls you. To videos like this, to words that feel personal, to moments that pierce through numbness. There's no healing without confrontation. The mind can't integrate what it refuses to acknowledge. That's why your pain keeps repeating itself. Because repetition is your psyche's way of begging for attention. The same mistakes, the same heartbreak, the same pattern. It's not punishment, it's communication. The shadow doesn't want to hurt you, it wants to be seen. So maybe this isn't just another night online. Maybe this is a mirror, one that doesn't flatter, but reveals. You can turn it off, scroll away, pretend it meant nothing. But you'll still feel it. That quiet recognition, that flicker of truth that cuts through the noise, because deep down you know, the shadow has found its voice again. It's not here to destroy you, it's here to wake you. The darkness you fear is the part of you that's trying to come home. Timing is never random. It's the language of the unconscious, quiet, precise, and deliberate. Things appear when they're meant to, not when you want them to. You call it coincidence. You call it luck. But deep down, you know better. You've felt it before, the way certain moments arrive like echoes, as if life itself is conspiring to tell you something. That's not chance. That's the unconscious speaking through time. The mind has its own rhythm, hidden beneath awareness. When you suppress emotion, it waits. When you ignore pain, it watches. And when you're finally ready, not consciously but internally, reality bends to deliver what you need to see. That's why some messages reach you only when your defenses start to fall, when your strength cracks just enough for truth to slip in. Synchronicity, that strange alignment between what happens outside and what's stirring within, isn't magic. It's memory resurfacing. The mind recognizes patterns before the eyes do. You experience something, and it feels familiar, heavy, right. You don't know why, but it feels like the world has paused to reflect your own thoughts back at you. That's the moment the unconscious and the external world meet. That's when timing stops being random and becomes revelation. When you were lost, nothing seemed to make sense. Everything felt fragmented. You scrolled through endless noise, chasing something nameless. And then suddenly, this appeared. Not because you looked for it, but because a part of you was ready to face what it represents. Readiness doesn't announce itself. It shows up through what captures your attention. You stop because something in you already knows. This is the message you were meant to meet. The unconscious is patient. It doesn't rush. It waits until silence becomes unbearable, until distraction loses its flavor, until your mind is tired of pretending it's fine. Then it moves. It rearranges your reality, leading you toward the exact experience that mirrors what you've refused to face. That's not technology doing its job. That's your psyche reclaiming control. You see, the human mind doesn't heal through avoidance. It heals through realization. That's why the same themes keep finding you. The same lessons, the same quotes, the same emotions wrapped in different faces. That's the unconscious trying again and again to make you listen. It's not repetition, it's insistence. It's life saying, you're not done with this yet. Every moment of alignment, every piece of content that pierces you is a conversation between your inner world and the one outside. You attract what resonates with your current state of awareness. That's why timing feels eerie, because it's too exact, too personal. You weren't supposed to understand it logically. You were supposed to feel it. And when you do, something inside shifts. The surface begins to crack. You start seeing meaning in places you used to overlook. Songs, words, faces. They start speaking the same language. You begin to realize that the world isn't separate from your mind. It's connected, reflective, alive. Everything responds to your readiness. You may not know why this moment matters, but your unconscious does. It has been guiding you here through fragments, through pain, through silence. You didn't find this message. It arrived the moment you stopped running. The timing was never coincidence. It was the signal that your healing had begun. The message appears when the mind decides you're ready to see it. There's a quiet agreement between your inner world and the one outside. You don't remember making it, but it's there. Constant, binding, absolute. Everything you feel inside finds a way to manifest around you. What you fear becomes pattern. What you suppress becomes symbol. What you desire in secret becomes reflection. Reality doesn't happen to you, it answers you. Every moment is the mind speaking to itself through the language of events. You think you're separate from what happens, but you're not. Every thought sends a signal. Every emotion leaves a trace. You walk through a world built from your own unseen material. The people you meet, the experiences you repeat, the lessons that haunt you, none of it is random. The world listens more closely than you think. It mirrors your wounds until you stop pretending they don't exist. That's why the same pain keeps returning in different forms. The same disappointment. The same loneliness wearing a new face. You call it bad luck. The truth is harder. You attract what you refuse to resolve. The external world is the projection of your internal conflict, replaying until you learn what it's trying to teach you. And when you finally understand, the pattern ends. Not because life changes, but because you do. Every time you choose denial, the world echoes it back as confusion. Every time you choose truth, it clears a path. The universe isn't punishing or rewarding. It's responsive. It follows the command of your unconscious state. That's why awareness feels like power. Because once you see the pattern, it loses control over you. You stop being the victim of your story and become the author. But power doesn't come from control. It comes from understanding. When you realize that your world is a mirror, you stop fighting the reflection and start changing the source. You stop blaming what you see and start questioning what you emit. You begin to notice that the chaos around you is a shadow cast by the turmoil within. Peace outside is impossible without peace inside. The two are never separate. They never were. Sometimes fate feels cruel, but it's not cruelty. It's correction. It's the psyche trying to realign you with what's real. The moments that break you are often the ones that finally make you listen. Pain isn't random, it's precision. It cuts where the lie lives. It destroys what you were never meant to carry forward. That's the pact between fate and mind. It will keep sending the same lesson until you finally embody it. You can't outrun what you haven't faced. You can change cities, people, names, but the energy remains, because the contract isn't with the world, it's with yourself. And until it's honored, reality keeps rewriting the same story, louder each time, until you awaken. That's why this moment found you, because something inside has reached its threshold. You've outgrown the lies that once protected you. The mask is slipping, and truth is pushing through. This message didn't arrive from outside. It emerged from within, through timing, through resonance, through every unseen thread connecting thought and fate. This isn't coincidence. This is alignment. The moment your mind and your life finally spoke the same language, reality reflects the mind that creates it. You didn't find this by chance. It found you because a part of you was ready to stop pretending, ready to see, ready to awaken. Every word, every silence, every shadow you've met here was never separate from you. It was your own reflection staring back. The truth is simple, but it cuts deep. Nothing outside will ever change until the inside does. You are the cause, the mirror, the echo, and the cure. So stop running. Listen to what life is showing you. every coincidence, every pain, every repetition, it's all you, trying to return to yourself. You are never lost. You are being called, and now the message has found its way home. Back to you.